The average life expectancy in the world is 72 years old. For some of us who are thinking of retiring at 65, this gives us 7 years to enjoy life. If we're lucky, we'll be able to live longer and enjoy life longer. But for some of us, it might be a different story. This reminds me of a conversation with my brother long ago. He said,
Kuya, I want to retire at 45.
45? What? And then he cleared up that I want to retire at 45 and not work for somebody else. This got me wondering, what is the best thing that I could do to be able to retire early? This is something that I've thought about way long ago, but I've since graduated thinking about it because now I've taken steps to take care of myself and my retirement. Not that I'm going to retire soon, but it's more of a taking care of my older self and my family policy. Let's look at my retirement portfolio, starting with my Roth IRA. This is an account that you can create, fund, and hold your investment in. The catch is you cannot withdraw your funds or your investments until you're 59 and a half years old. But you'll be able to withdraw your funds and your money tax-free. Right now, the current value of my Roth IRA is about $15,000, and I only have 2 stocks in this account. One is VNQ, which is the Vanguard Real Estate ETF, and another is the VOO, which is the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. My goal for this portfolio is not to make myself filthy rich. The sole purpose of this account is to fund my retirement and to be a safety net for my taxable account. Cash flow becomes a critical necessity in retirement. While you're young and actively employed, your salary is your primary source of cash flow. However, as you progress in your career and plan for retirement, you should also think about your income sources as part of your growth and retirement strategy. This is where my Roth IRA and my main portfolio come in. This Roth IRA is a fund that I can only withdraw when I reach 59 and a half years old. By that time, the growth and the dividends that this portfolio generated can be withdrawn or be the source of my cash flow. This will provide the income that will fund me and my family on my retirement. The best part is, by that time, I don't have to worry about taxes. Since this is a safety net portfolio, I don't want to put a lot of brain power on what kind of stocks should go into this account. This portfolio is set to follow what Warren Buffett is consistently saying.
I think it's the same thing that makes most sense practically all of the time, and that is to consistently buy an S&P 500 low-cost index fund. Keep buying it through thick and thin, and especially through thin.
For those who don't want to invest, yes, you can save your money. The thing is, you're probably going to run out of time trying to earn and save the money that will probably be eaten by inflation. And at some point, there's not much money that you can save in exchange for your time. In the book, Money Master the Game, there was a quote.
The number one fear of baby boomers today is that not they're going to die. That's their number 2 fear. The number 1 fear is I want to run out of money while I'm alive. And millennials have the same fear because, according to statistics, about 70 to 75% of the people are going to run out of money before they die, and we're all living longer. So the chance of that happening is off the charts unless you and I create a money machine.
This is where my investment come in. Their role is to be a seed that will grow and generate enough cash flow to cover my living expenses. It doesn't have to be stocks. The important thing is that you invest in a productive assets that will provide cash flow. It can be a real estate or a side hustle that turn into a full-time business or any property that produces income. For me, it's dividend stocks. Right now, this portfolio is producing $1,100 a year. This $1,100 is reinvested back into the portfolio, growing it and increasing the yearly dividend income while I'm consistently adding funds into it. That part, consistently adding funds, is very important. Now let's take a quick look and have an update on what happened to my portfolio last 2023. Starting with the stocks that we sold last year. These are Target, Stag, Pepsi, Micron, Meta, Kroger, and Home Depot. Next is the companies that we kept buying last year. Starting with AbbVie, we started January 2023 with 15.26 shares, and last December we have 17.78 shares. That is a total of $317 invested. Next is Coca-Cola. We started with 36 shares last 2023 January, Last December, we have 42 shares. That's about $333 invested to Coca-Cola last year. Next is Johnson & Johnson. We started with 14.77 shares. Then last December, we ended with 17.55 shares. That's a total of $450 invested to Johnson & Johnson. Next is Starbucks. We started with 27 shares of Starbucks. And last December, we have 32 shares and 32.88 shares. That's a total of $493 invested to Starbucks. Next is Pfizer. We have 44 shares of Pfizer when we started 2023. And then last December, we have 63.66 shares. That is a total of $758 invested to Pfizer. Next is Google. We started with 11 shares. And last December, we have 18.87 shares. That is a total of $879 invested to Google. Next is State Street, which is ticker symbol STT. We started buying them last year, and we bought 18 shares of STT with a total value of $1,354 invested to STT. Next is Realty Income, my favorite real estate investment trust or REIT. We started with 37 shares last year, and then we ended up with 63.40 shares with a total value of $1,518 invested to Realty Income. Next is another buy last year, which is UPS. We bought 12.77 shares of UPS with a total value of $2,267. Next is Microsoft. We started with 22 shares of Microsoft last year, and after December, we have a total of 31.53 shares with a total value of $2,284 invested to Microsoft. Next is Apple. We started with 49.30 shares, and December we have 66.18 shares with a total value of $2,363 invested into Apple. Next is Berkshire Hathaway. We started with 20 shares of Berkshire Hathaway last 2022, and then we finished with 28 shares last 2023 with a total value of $2,494 invested into Berkshire Hathaway. Next is SCHW. It's also a new stock that we bought last 2023. We bought 39 shares with a total value of $2,547 invested in SCHW. And the most stock that we bought last year is SCHD. We started with 19 shares last January 2023, and that last December we have a total of 61.70 shares of SCHD with a total value of $3,018 invested into SCHD. Now, these two portfolio combined gives a total value of $80,000, which is not enough to cover my retirement. But hey, we're getting there one penny at a time. The important thing is that we won't just save our money. By investing them, we assign a job to each dollar, which will bring us more cash flow, especially in the long run. So for you, my brother, and for anybody else who needs to hear this, go, do your thing. Start that business, invest in that stocks, or buy that property. Invest in things that you believe you can scale and do well. Put that focus and energy into your future. Even though everything seems tough, know that time will always be on your side, and with a little changes and your persistence, you will definitely reach your goal.